This new dust farming strategy is insane. Welcome back everyone to a new Arise crossover video. As you already might have seen, a new update has dropped in Arise crossover, where there's one actually major event that got introduced, which is the castle event. Now, this event will be your best way to farm dust in Arise crossover. But why is that? Well, let me quickly give you an overview. First of all, the things you are gonna need. Head over to your items, make sure you have a kind of a low tier weapon. For example, this colossal saber that I have. And make sure you get loot, and honestly, preferably you want to get looting aspect as an enchantment on this weapon, because looting aspect makes it also so you get even more dust, like a bigger amount of dust from destroying certain enemies. And then what else you're gonna need is still the same as what we discussed in the short that we did for farming dust, which is you want to get some of these drops potions, and you would want to get this 2x drops chance game pass. If you've gotten these two things and you have the weapon ready to go, the things you want to do in the castle is what we will show you once it actually spawns. Now let's make a tally of the amount of dust we currently have. So we have 184 legendary powder dust, we have 269 rare powder dust, and we have 474 common powder dust. Now let's wait until the castle spawns, and I'll show you why it is the best dust farming method. Now, even on a side note, they even made the Inferno Castle even better, because they basically buffed the money drop amount, the gems drop amount, and the dust drop rate, which is now 40% easier to collect in the castle. And it's not only that, but also bosses now always drop all kinds of dust types. So it's not only limited to one type, so it's not only limited to legendary dust or common dust or just rare dust. No, it can drop every single type of dust. So preferably also in this case, because you're gonna destroy a lot of enemies, I would really advise you guys to eventually also save up for this instant destroy game pass, because when you're gonna turn on auto destroy, you don't really want to sit there and wait until like holding the button down to keep destroying the enemies. Make sure you have that game pass so you don't have to worry about it at all, and you can just like keep moving on to newer enemies. All right, that's the side note. Let's now wait for the castle. And if you guys, by the way, do not know yet, the castle will always spawn at the solo leveling island right at this place over here, and it will spawn like at the end of this road over here with a very infernal looking portal, and it's very hard to miss. So just make sure you are on solo leveling island if you want to head into this castle thing, and you're gonna rake in all the different kinds of dust. Okay, we should be only a few seconds away from it spawning. It should be happening anytime. Come on, castle spawning, because it sometimes spawns like a 1 or 2 seconds earlier than the actual like at the exact like 45-minute mark. So please make sure you have your colossal saber enabled. We are also gonna enable the potion once we are in. There we go. And this is exactly what the portal looks like. So let's have a fun little adventure. All right, here we go. Let's enable our potion real quick. So there it is, drops potion. And we should be able to attack these enemies, and then you want to attack them with your units. So make sure you hit these, hit the units once, and then hit them with your units, so the looting takes effect on the actual units themselves. So keep doing that. You should be able to get quite a few dust drops. It's just as long as you hit the enemies with your actual weapon, you should be fine. And that's also why I would recommend you guys you don't use auto attack, because your units might be like killing the other units before you are able to attack them with your own weapon to have the looting take effect. And this is basically all you really need to do to get the most out of your your potion, your double drops game pass, like your looting weapon. Like, this is all you need to do. But there's gonna be one little secret tactic that we're gonna do, actually 4 or 3 minutes before we hit the hour mark on our actual clock IRL. And you'll see exactly what we're gonna do then, because you might already suspect something, but it's very important that you do this to get basically double the amount of dust that you would normally get otherwise. So far, I've already gotten so much dust drops because every 1 or 2 units, I'm actually always getting at least a few dust from destroying them. And that's also important because you need to destroy them. Only killing them is not enough. And that's why the destroying is very important, because I had people in my stream last Saturday. Oh my god, he dropped a lot of dust. Like, say why they weren't getting that much dust. And it's because they weren't destroying the units. Like, you actually need to destroy the units to actually obtain the dust, because only killing them is not gonna give you the dust. That's why instant destroy in this case is very important. And even that you manage your entire auto destroy menu, make sure that's all set up correctly, even for the bosses in this area, to move on pretty quickly. Alright, here we go. It's about to happen, so we are gonna clear this floor pretty quickly. And then we're actually gonna leave the game itself, and we're gonna rejoin again. And let's do that real quick. And then you quickly want to make your way again over to the solo leveling island. Again, you're gonna refresh your items drops potion real soon, because we're gonna do another 10 minutes run. And then once we're done with that, you basically did 2 castle runs with both the double drops every time enabled with the looting 5. And if you have a looting aspect, that's going to be an insane amount of dust. So let's go through the portal again, because as you can see, it's still here. So let's immediately start it. Let's enable a potion, and we basically get a second chance of grinding even more dust. Now we're doing this because the units on the higher floors have way more health. And since we can spam these units easily at the lower floors, it's way more worth it to keep doing the lower enemies, because they do still drop an insane amount of dust every single time, even on the like lower health enemies. And that's why it's worth leaving the castle mid-section once you're like fully done. Like once you're around that floor 20 mark, where the units are gonna have are about to have like quadrillions amount of HP, because that's what you basically want to avoid for that time being. And you also want to save yourself as much time as possible, so you're better off trying to go for the lower units, because you're not equipping your strongest sword if you couldn't get like looting or looting aspect on it. You're basically letting your units do all the work in this case. So this is basically the best strat that you could do if you are unlucky with your highest weapon and don't want to keep re-rolling the stats on your, for example, your scythe currently. So for this run, you want to waste all the time that you can, because this is your second run. You're not gonna get a second reset going. You only need 1 reset for basically the best amount of like dust that you can get in a run. And then at the end, we're gonna tally up how much dust we now actually got, because I'm very interested in how much this actually now gave us. Now, sometimes you do get so unlucky. Not all the units will drop dust every single time, so it's still a game of RNG, so keep that in mind. But you can only make it better for yourself with these enchantments on your weapon, and of course the game passes and the potion. Now honestly, if you want to save a bit of time near the end, where if you're gonna end up on a floor where they have like quadrillions amount of HP and your items potion has already run out, you can basically, I would say, just leave the castle. You don't really need to waste more time after that. You could still stay and finish the entire run, but since you're only gonna use your like lowest level weapon, and your units won't really carry you when all like each single brute at that area has like quadrillions amount of health. It's gonna be like 60 or like 600. It's gonna take a while since you're not using your main weapon. Now, of course, if you do have a Reaper Scythe, which has the loot aspect and loot enchantment on it, and you even like sharpness 8 and vorpal or whatsoever, then man, you're gonna have a field day with doing these like dungeons, because then you don't even need to use your units, because then you can already one-shot every single enemy with your scythe. So if you have that, congratulations, you have won the lottery, and now you can get all the advantages of using that kind of weapon in the castle. So far, it feels like I've been getting an amazing amount of drops every time though. Like, can you see all this dust like keep dropping on the ground, even when I was like helping you all through it? Like, it keeps dropping like every 1 or 2 units. Like, there's another one probably, and then we're maybe gonna get another one from here. No, or maybe this one. But you do get so, yeah, there we go. You do get so much. Like, it feels very good when you see like all those dust icons like drop near the gems amount. And like even this boss, right? Like, look, it like already drops like dust by itself, all different kinds of dust, what we spoke about in the beginning of the video. So it just, you know, yeah, it feels very good that we have a like even more better way of farming dust in a Rise crossover. Alright, so we're now at the point where we're on floor 20, where the units are beginning to have like quadrillions amount of health. So what I would advise you guys to do here is make sure you get to floor 20, make sure you also do the boss and clear this entire area. And after that, feel free to leave, because after this, it's just gonna keep on getting harder and harder. And it's not worth it anymore, because at this time, your potion already should have run out by that time as well. So it's basically to save yourself some time. prepare yourself for the next set of castle runs, right? And enjoy the glories of all the dust that you've gotten. All right, there we go. That was the last one. Let's leave the game and let's see what the spoils have brought us. Okay, let's go over to our items. Let's go over. Here we go. Scrolling down slowly. There are the dust icons. Oh my god. Okay, I'm pretty sure we've gotten like over 150 dust. Legendary powder dust. We have gotten like a crazy amount of rare dust. And we're like 1.1k common powder dust. Which, remember, you can also turn back into rare dust. Which is an amazing way to like unbrick all your scythes or weapons that you had like issues farming dust with. Like, this is crazy, bro. Oh my god, so please use this method to your own advantage because this is crazy. This is officially the best new insane dust farm I've ever seen. You're basically doing 2 castle runs using 2 items like drop potions. And you're gonna quit at around like floor 2021. And if that doesn't like happen for the first one, make sure you just quit like 3 minutes before like it actually like despawns. And then do another run. But just make sure you have that potion and the game pass and your looting sword. Like, imagine if I have even like if I had looting aspects, it would have been even more crazy because you get more dust as well. All right, well, now we know. And that was it. That was the guide for the best new insane dust farm in a Rise crossover. If you liked this video, then make sure to leave a like, turn on the notification bell, subscribe, and I will see you in a next new Roblox video or live stream. Have a fantastic dust hunting journey.